I'm Steve Didio, lived in Oro Valley for 16 years. I'm a retired Navy officer. I served in the submarine force. I love this town, and I'm running because I want to make a difference. I think we really have reached a juncture in Oro Valley on the council particularly where it's too divided, there's not enough collaboration, and I want to make a difference by being somebody who's an independent thinker, independent voter, and I want to hit the reset button on the council. I think we need some change. It's been 5 years. Honestly, in my opinion, the council majority that has been recalled, that is on the stage with us, they're not the same exact people that we put in office 5 years ago. I think they were more approachable. I think they listened more. I think they've gotten way too connected with special interests and large donors to be able to hear your voice the way they need to hear it. And I want to provide that voice to you. Thank you.
When I first got back to town, I watched a council carrying picket signs opposing the Oro Valley Marketplace. As also already been pointed out, this town fought violently against acquiring water facilities to create a water utility in Oro Valley. Now, if we didn't have this water utility, we wouldn't have Oro Valley. Yes, we're at a crossroads now. We're developing, we're drawing jobs. Innovation Park is about to blossom. We built the apartments, well, we haven't, but the apartments have been built to accommodate these high-end jobs that are coming to Oro Valley, things that are being asked for in our new preparation for the new general plan. And the town is in a rock-solid good place with a heavy contingency rainy day fund, and bond ratings have never been higher.
Thank you. I have over 35 years of experience, a very varied business experience in both the military and industry. I'm a certified government contracts manager. I have a deep understanding of contract negotiations and terms. I feel that that type of experience would have been very helpful last year when the council was considering the El Conquistador purchase. I personally would have never voted for that because it has too many obvious flaws. Golf has been in decline for a decade or more. In 2006, there were 30 million golfers in the United States. Now there are 25 million, and that trend is continuing. Golf is not going to recover regardless of what the rosy projections might say. The projections thus far have been exceeded in the wrong direction. Why should you believe the projections will be any better 4 or 5 years from now?
Well, I've been a news director here in Tucson, managing million-dollar budgets at 2 network-affiliated stations. Managed million-dollar budget in San Diego as news director there. I was with CNN for 21 years, telling stories from every aspect of human life, including in a war zone where I was shot at by Serbs and shot at by Albanians. I was an equal opportunity target. And all of these experiences, including my reports towards the end of my CNN career on the aging of America, has helped me deal by listening to people in Oro Valley about their wants and desires, and one of them has been, we want a gathering place. We want a community center. I didn't vote for a golf course. I voted for a community center, and I'll explain that more if I get a chance to as we go in depth answering these questions. When we took office, business complained a lot that it was so difficult to do business in Oro Valley. We didn't make the zoning codes or the rules any less stringent for business when we came in, but we operated as a town, an entire town, including professional staff, as a concierge. How do we get to yes? I spoke at the Sun City board meeting the other day, and when I got done briefing on the town activity before the board, I said, are there any questions? A hand went up by a board member. The question was, when does Chipotle open? That is what people are asking for. They're asking for business, for jobs, for opportunities. They want to stay in Oro Valley and do their business. They don't want to have to go to Marana, or they can. I mean, there's a nice IKEA in Phoenix, but they want it here. Oro Valley.
Well, for starters, it means keeping your taxes low, and raising the sales tax was not a business-friendly idea. I'm very surprised that the Chamber of Commerce has not come out against that. More to follow on that. Also, not competing with private enterprises as a town. We have a restaurant, a golf, 2.5 golf courses that are competing with private enterprises, with restaurants and the golf courses in the town, and on a subsidized basis. You can golf at El Conquistador Golf for $20 for a round of 18 with a cart. How are the private golf courses supposed to compete with that when we're subsidizing the other $30? So I'll have you know here that if you're not a golfer and if you're not a wealthy person, you are subsidizing the golf of people who are more well off than you, and I think that's wrong. Well, ultimately, the 7 bond propositions are going to be an individual choice for voters. I will tell you that I am in support of Proposition 426, which will bring $15 million into Oro Valley for the accelerator. I'm all for that. I have to look very closely, but I have concerns over the other 6. And the reason is because we're going to be indebted for 27 years paying back these bonds. We're basically borrowing money to pay the interest on the money we borrowed before. And Pima County's debt situation is egregious compared to the other counties in the state. We cannot continue to just borrow blindly. I am not in favor of further indebting the people of Pima County. Thank you. Mr.
I agree. There's some things I don't like about the bond, but definitely on behalf of Oro Valley, I would support strongly 426 on the business accelerator. We have Arizona State University now involved with us. When I say Innovation Park, which I regard as the economic heartbeat of Oro Valley, when I say it's about to blossom, that's certainly true. ASU's here. University of Arizona is coming in wholeheartedly, and we're about to do some great things. If that bond does not pass, we'll have to readjust the course, but that's my business there on the bond. It's a guide. It says in the preamble to the general plan, it's a guide. It takes all of your input to make a general plan. Then you vote on it, we all vote on it. It's a 10-year vision. Within that are 2-year bites, a strategic plan, and 2-year bites to achieve those goals. Those strategic plan goals are assigned to a professional staff. They take over and try to meet those goals. Now keep in mind, when we came into office, the general plan we were working was up against the greatest recession this nation has ever known. Many adjustments had to be made. Oro Valley had to survive. We got a projected deficit of $2.6 million. We came out on the other side with $1 million plus. Now it's been said that we don't have the money for the golf course. Well, we have built-in mechanisms to make sure we get positive results on that. We didn't have the money to bury the power lines, but we got it. We didn't have the $2 million for Naranja Park, but we got it. We can do it.
You, the voters, approved the general plan in 2005, and you, the voters, will approve it again in 2016. It provides your vision for what you want the town to look like. Was your vision 764 apartments on Oracle Road? Is your vision a 5-story building across the wash from Steam Pump Village? Is your vision higher density neighborhoods? More and more of those, because that's what the developers want. I don't want that. I want compatible development. So I think that this council, especially the council majority that's been recalled, are all too willing to dismiss the general plan and do general plan amendments when I believe they should be the rare exception and not the rule. So if I'm elected, I will adhere to the general plan unless there's an absolutely overriding reason not to. Thank you.
Thank you all for having me here. I should have been inside my head during the discussions I've had over the past 10 days. I got up this morning and I went in my file and I found a piece by Anthony Lewis. You may have known him. The late Anthony Lewis was a great columnist for the New York Times. He said, Americans are losing their sense of community. lost faith in our nation's leaders, our social trust, belief in one another. Volunteerism is done. We watch too much television and sit at home alone at our computers, interacting only through electronics, and it may be undermining our connections with one another and with our communities. Witness this exchange on a local opinion blog about our new community center. Linda Sauber writes, "We go every Tuesday for happy hour. We need to have places to go, play cards, games. This will catch on, give it time." Answered by what I refer to as a virtual vigilante. Our recall supporter, by the way. We need to have places to go play cards? Sorry, but that's a want, not a need. Why do I have to subsidize your wants? Imagine how that conversation would have gone if they were face to face. But Linda Sauber is right. We need this community center. A gathering place has been needed since 1995, when the first letter was received by then town manager Chuck Sweet, proposing that we take the land upon which the library now sits and convert it to a community center. And it's been in the general plan ever since. It's in Your Voice, Our Future, which is the precursor to the next general plan about a gathering place, a place where young and old get together and all what goes with it. Anthony Lewis concludes by saying, "When people in a society care only for themselves, it cannot be surprising that social bonds and social trust decline. In a society that has lost its sense of community, individualism will not lead to contentment." I wish there was an app for that.
I don't have any quotes from famous people in history for you. I'm just going to talk as a regular guy up here. This recall election really comes down to what you want in the future of your government in Oro Valley. My observation after 16 years of being here is that the politics in this town are very cyclical. People come in, they have the best of intentions, but they change over time. And I'm telling you right now that it's time to hit the reset button. We need to change the mix on the council to a more collaborative group that can work with the three people in the minority too. They are basically shut out on anything that's important in this town, and I think that's wrong. I will bring an independent voice, an independent voter. I will have no pressure on me from outside groups. I'll hear from citizens. I will not be beholden to any special interest because I will not seek out or accept donations. However, I will work with everybody that we need to work with, and they will know me as somebody that they can approach and that they can work with and they can negotiate with. And I will have the citizens on one side, the business interests on the other, and I'll make sure they come together with the primary interest of satisfying the needs of the citizens and not satisfying the needs of somebody that gave me thousands of dollars because they think I'm going to vote favorably for them. That isn't going to happen. And if my career on the council is, if I'm fortunate enough to be elected and my career in the council is only the better part of 3 years, so be it. I am not in this to be a career politician. I will represent you faithfully. And I ask you for your vote in October when you get your mail-in ballots or on November 3rd. Thank you very much for attending.
Round of applause.